What's going on, everybody? It is King of Kicks, and we are back with episode 2 of the Hump Day Hustle. I am joined
Hump
with
Day!
my man Laced Vet, and we are in the building ready to talk about some dope sneaker topics. So why don't you go ahead and go over the first topic for today?
All right, so the first topic of today we got is the new wave of resellers as sneakerheads beneficial or detrimental to the long-term economy of the sneaker game? We talked a little bit before we started recording about this subject, and before we went too crazy, we kind of we stopped it because it's a subject, like I said to my man that we could go all day on this, Zay. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about this shit for hours. The sneaker game, I look at it as like a snowball, and it just keeps on, building and building and building and building and bringing in more people and more people. And the beauty of it is, unlike something like sports cards, for example, right? Sports cards, that is a bubble. It is something that can be a bubble because, at the end of the day, it's a piece of cardboard, right? At the end of the day, we all got feet. We all need shoes. So shoes is always going to be, it's always going to be a culture, a vibe there to it. But the new type, what coronavirus did is it made it apparent to people that you can make money doing it again. This cycle happens every couple of years. This isn't the first time a wave of resellers came in. It's not the first time. This is probably the third or fourth time I've seen it throughout time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what happens is people will get absorbed into it. They put a lot into it and they get washed out. More often than not, they get washed out. It's not easy, Zay. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think like we talked about before, though, it's important to differentiate when you're talking about the sneaker game because a lot of people are in it for different reasons. So like if you ask like an OG sneakerhead, he's going to tell you he's in it because he grew up on it and he loves the materials and the textures and the shoes. And if you ask somebody who's just a reseller, they're going to tell you they love it because of the hype and the money and the profit. And so I think it depends on what question you're asking. So if we're talking about like the economy of it, like you said, I think more the merrier. More people that are into it, the more money I potentially have to make, and there's more market share. But if we're talking about the culture behind it, I think I don't think shoes are as appreciated as they used to be, especially now because we're getting 10 releases every weekend, it feels like. And so there's not really time to sit back and appreciate the shoes. And on top of that, you can really tell that people don't care anymore because if they did, they would have I feel like people would take a stand a bit more on this quality for all the shoes we've been getting. Like if you compare a Jordan 3 to a Jordan 3 that's made today, like if you compare a 2016 black cement 3 to like those red cement 3s and blue cement 3s that came out, the quality of the material is just night and day. Same thing with like the material that they use for the leather on everything now. The same way, like, I don't know if you're familiar with this, like, because I don't know how often you wear Jordans with icy soles, but all the icy soles on the Jordans now, they yellow really quickly and the yellowing spreads really fast and you can't ice them anymore as well as you used to.
You got that sparkle on the Jordan 1s too.
Yeah.
That's a quality control issue. That's not something that has always happened like that.
Right.
You're right. The icy sole thing, I would say, like, think of like the 2009, the Space Jam came out, right? That sole in 2015, you could find pairs that it was still, pretty icy.
Yeah.
The Gym Red 11 that just came out not too long ago, they're all yellow. You know that. Every single one of them, brand new or not, they're yellow. They're just used, they just like any company, they're finding a way always to where they can cut a corner until people give up and they cut the corner on your product.
Yeah. And
it's been this way for some years now. They're just getting away with it. And not only that, they're raising the retail too, and we still keep buying it,
Right. So prices are going up and quality is going down, and I'm not a hater on changing materials. I think that's fine because like if they hadn't changed materials, we would have been stuck with a lot of really bad shoes. Like I'm trying to think off the top of my head what's one that they changed that was really good. I can't even think of it. Can you think of any shoes that were one material and then they changed and then it was a better one afterwards? Okay, like for example, like 2012 Bred 4s are that suede that they used cracked and chipped and got bad scuffs. And then I actually prefer the new Bred 4s over the old Bred 4s because the new buck is super easy to clean. It just stays nice and it doesn't crease as bad and won't have any long-term damage. So like that's a shoe that I was okay with changing the material on, but like
but it's now it's not even the material, it's the the midsoles even.
they're
The
thin.
midsoles are not, the shoes back then, it actually had some like comfort to it.
Yeah.
Now everything just feels like a brick on your foot.
Yeah. And I feel like
but you're right. The culture of it is out the window, man. You see it not as clear as day. You go to a sneaker convention, there's very little culture there, and it sounds sad to say that because if you go to a comic convention, it's nothing but culture there.
right.
And those people, there's some people there making money, but the ones making money, they still are about the culture. And the sports cars is still kind of the same too. It's got a lot of OGs that are really there about the culture, but now it's like, it's more about it's just everybody, how can we undercut each other for $1 is really what it's come to, man. And that's the part of this shit that I will not miss as it fades away. Inevitably, it will fade away.
I mean, when you think about like, I know we only see resellers. So I think like I'm trying to think about just even people that I see that, because I guess there's always been people that wore Jordans that weren't sneakerheads, you know what I mean? Because Jordans are just cool to wear. But I just feel like there's like much less real, like over time, like I feel like even if there was 20% of the people, 80% of people just wearing J's back in the day, there was 20% of people who were really into them. And now I feel like everybody just like, there's almost like 95% are just wearing them and 5% are really into them. Like nobody knows the story behind it. Nobody cares about the material or the colorway. They just want what's hot. It's all hype now. You know what I mean? Which is very true. And it's not everybody's fault. It's just kind of how it happened, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yep. The people just want all the hype stuff. The one thing we're talking about, like the sneakerhead, but the new age reseller is some of the most entitled little shitheads I've ever dealt with, man.
Yeah.
And you deal with it too all the time. Some of the most entitled little pricks, like, I mean, they must be living under a rock or in their mother's basement and never coming outside or something. Like dealing with some of these people, that's more often than not, that's why I fall back from social media a lot of times.
I think
dealing with these fucking kids, man.
I think a problem with those kind of guys you're talking about and like with a lot of resellers in general, people don't look at it like a business like they should. And even if they think they know what a business is, they don't. And so like even just customer service alone, like it's something that is not even a thought in their head of how to be a better salesman or a better representative for your company and your business. And it's just like show up and set it on a table and try to make money now. You know what I mean?
There's no accountability at the end of the day. Like you said, when you go somewhere, my brother, you operate as a business.
Right.
You operate a certain kind of way, right? A lot of these kids, they're just here trying to flip one shoe to the next. Just they get on social media just to troll, just to be goofy. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Which sucks.
If that's what you expend your energy on, you're going to get the same result in life always.
Right.
You're never going to break out of your mold, and you're going to be just mediocre forever.
Yeah. Which sucks because
that's a majority of these kids, I would say. It seems like it. I'm sure you could agree to that.
Yeah. And I think if these people would, instead of like focus so hard on like looking like a cool reseller as they did is like watching YouTube videos from Jordan Belfort's sales training or Gary Vee or anything. It was just like how to be a better businessman and how to be a better
which makes you better than just shoes.
Well, you can make you do anything.
Exactly.
You can
exactly. And that right there, what we just peeled back from the onion is why what separates us from them though.
Right.
It's because it's all if you take away the shoes,
right.
What is it? Ghost. They're nobody. They have nothing, right? Yeah. If you take away the shoes from us, it's on to the next, you know?
And I don't want it to look like I also think that you and me have a unique opportunity here. Like, it is easy to bash these people, but at the end of the day, I think most of it is ignorance, because there is no one.
They don't know. Yes.
There's no one to tell them otherwise. You know what I mean? And so hopefully what we can do is get a little more detailed, like, and break down some of the stuff that we really see that is a problem, and like teach from it, because there's nobody that's teaching in the sneaker game how to be a better reseller. Everybody's just showing off new releases and showing them going to events and lowballing.
Showing the wall, bro. Showing the wall of the Yeezys that we just got or whatever. I mean, it's a dick measuring contest. That's what it is.
I mean, I'm guilty of it sometimes too.
No. But there's different levels to it though.
Okay.
It is a time and a place. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you go into the mall and just grabbing every fucking shoe that comes out and taking a fucking picture all the time with it, who are you doing this for? You know what I'm saying? Who are you really doing this for? If the first thought in your head when you make a big move is to go tell everybody about it,
right? Why are you doing it?
Who are you doing this for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing this? You're doing it for the wrong reason. That's the key. If you do the shit about money, and that's why I always stress that, if money is what actually makes you tick and motivates you, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You're going to fail, inevitably.
Because there's no passion behind it.
Exactly.
Right?
There's no passion. There's no passion. And that's what we're talking about, the sneaker culture. There's no passion to it.
That is what it is. There's no passion.
It's just me getting on StockX and undercutting somebody by $1, undercutting somebody by $1, undercutting somebody by $1. How can we chop somebody's head by $1? I want payout. I'll give you 500 payout. Like the shows, everything, man. It's like it really has gotten. It's. I don't know. What will happen is right now, and I see it. Trust me, and I'm sure you'll see it too. A lot of people are washing out now. That unemployment pump ended. So those people that were just taking that unemployment money, extra money, and flipping it every time they got it, that's done now. So as soon as a slow patch comes on, like right now is a very slow time in retail, they're struggling, because they're still trying to put, the diamonds in the teeth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're still trying to get all the nice stuff, and they got accustomed to living like that.
Right.
That unemployment pump ending is a big it's noticeable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I made stupid money during that time.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
And it literally just ended, and you could see it.
Well, you can see it when you go to events now too. Like they're just getting, even sneaker cons are just like, it's all, it's a good event, but it's just like every event's getting smaller, it seems like, and less people are selling out there just because, I mean, you're right, it's just a slow season. People have less money.
People will tap out. A lot of people tap out into the slow seasons. That's how most things are in life, though. When things get the tightest and they get the toughest, most people are going to quit.
Yeah.
That's what separates you, is you just got to keep going.
So, I mean,
when you feel like you're going to quit like that, push harder.
So what are some things that when you, like, I guess when you look at new resellers and you go to events or you see them operating on social media, for you personally, like, what are some like top 3 things that you think that they can do to change their like unprofessional ways, or like what can they do to be like, okay, well, I want to be proactive. What can I do?
The number one thing that I always try to tell young resellers is the number one thing, man. And I see time and time again, it's the same thing that they all do, especially at the shows. Do not, even without even blinking an eye, do not be ashamed of taking a loss. If you got to take a loss of a shoe, if you paid $10 more than what they offer, and that's more than what it's worth or whatever, take it. So many people get caught up in, I just want my money back. I just want my money back. There's sometimes you're not always going to get your money back.
Okay.
And you have to own that. And remember that, use that lesson. Like, this was a shoe that I didn't do very well with. So the next time a colorway in that shoe comes out, I probably won't buy it again.
Okay. So you're saying not all the time, but you're saying when you've been sitting on a shoe for 4 months and you can't sell it, and
Or anything. I mean, dude, there's shoes that I buy. It doesn't happen anymore now because just the more time goes on, the more experience I have of dealing with the shoe models and stuff. But there's been times I can remember when I first started buying mids back in like a long time ago, 2014, 15. So I can't remember when it was when they were kind of low key. They very rarely came out, but I would grab some colorways sometimes and instantly I'd bring them home and I'd get them back to the space and in my office and I'd be like, I had buyer's remorse.
Right.
So I would go dump them instantly, even though I was taking a loss,
No, I totally get that. I've done that before too, where you buy something and then you're like, you psych yourself out about it. And
I'm like,
I got to get rid of this right now. Yeah.
You've done it plenty of times, I'm sure. But
no, I have.
But at first, when it first used to happen to me, I would be so tight wound, like there's no way I can't do it. I'm going to lose $10 a pair. I'm going to lose $10 a pair. Because then what happens is because at the end of the day, your money's time is more valuable than the money itself.
I agree with that. I think that's more like, that's why.
Move on. Just move on. You have to be able to.
Holds aren't a good idea unless you're like really strapped with cash to do it, because it's like
exactly
multiply more.
Exactly. The only reason why I do pretty much all holds is because I rather have my money in the shoes than just sitting in a bank.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different too. I think holds it's kind of like investing too, and like when you get to such a massive amount of it, it's like the growth you get off of it over a short period of time is so much because you're doing it in such high quantity. Whereas if you're a kid holding 3 pairs for 6 months, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's like anything makes sense with low margins when you're at scale, you know? So I definitely feel that. Let me see real quick here. So
that was something that I had posted in my Discord. As I said, I talk all the time about holds because that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what works for me, and it's worked for me for a while. And no way am I saying, should you grab your first sneaker to sell ever and hold on to it? That doesn't even make sense.
No. Right. Because you have
to find out who you are. The number one thing resellers need to know is you got to find out who you are. What are you? Are you a holder? Are you a bot guy? Are you a camper? Are you a middleman, a bulk seller? There's so many different things you could be. You really got to know who you are. Are you somebody that travels all over the country and goes to shows? Those people make crazy money.
I don't even know if it's one of those things that you can decide either, though, immediately. Like you can't just pick to do what I do or what you do, because those things only came with experience and networking and growth. You know what I mean? I think it's just like, you got to go just do it. Like, just do it. There's not a way to do it. You just kind of have to go do it. And you have to mess up. You have to fail. Like, you know how many shoes that I've sat on for months and taken losses on, just like you said, like Liberty 10s or pre-grade 5s. Like
to this day.
And I buy fake shoes all the time. I'll never touch a Mocha one again just because I have a PTSD for it. You know what I mean? It's like, you just have to learn.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, who cares though? It's a loss.
No
matter how big the loss, dude, I could sit here and tell you losses that would have you cringing over the years. Like, and that's you. If I told like somebody just wanting to learn about sneaker reselling, they probably would never want to sell a shoe when they hear the stories.
Yeah.
I got caught up in some shoes over the years where I got hammered. But you know what? At the end of the day, you just win more.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. It's either, and it's just part of being a business. Goes back to like, it's not about reselling, it's about business. Business, you have to take L's. You have to learn, because if you don't, then it just doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
Every L is not an L though, because it's a lesson. You got a lesson out of it, which is it's forever.
So I guess we kind of worked our way into this because you were talking about the whole economy of sneakers and the stimulus stuff. What do you think about? I don't remember if we touched on this on a call or if it was on our last episode at all. But what do you think about the whole? Is there a bubble with the sneaker game in shops similar to like real estate and used cars where everything is so high? Or do you think this is like a sustainable method of like making money? Like, do you think the sneakers are going to stay this poppin' and prevalent for these shops that are small to open up?
I mean, it's a lot of them, dude. I mean, and it's a lot. Every day I realize that it's more than I even thought it was. I see little accounts popping up, on your Instagram ads. You'll get some little sneaker store that'll hit your ads.
Yeah.
I'm blown away, man. It's like everyone and their mother is just jumping into it and doing it. I mean, how many sneaker stores could we have? That's what you have to wonder. Some cities, though, definitely some cities could house a lot of sneaker stores just because they have so much demand, so much population. Somewhere like Houston or Miami,
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. There's a lot of places throughout Cali. There's a lot of places in Cali, New York, Chicago. I mean, there's so many places in this. Even Charlotte. I think you and I talked about it. I'm not sure. No, it was myself and Traffic Kicks. We were talking about.
Charlotte's got a bunch.
North Carolina. The Carolinas got a crazy shoe game there, man.
Yeah, it's probably got to do with the whole Jordan thing, going to school there and all that.
Yeah, for sure. They got big. Just like anything, it has a lot of popularity right now, and it does kind of feel kind of bubbly to me, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, when I just look at how everything's operating and moving, I don't see, because like a lot of these guys, like, I just don't see it working. Like there's guys locally around me, especially all the time in Facebook. Like I was on Facebook this morning and somebody was on the sneaker group for Atlanta and they were like, hey, I need some people to message me and explain to me how it works opening up a shop. Like I want to do one. And I'm just like, right off the bat, if that's your question, don't open a store. You know what I mean? Like if you're asking about like POS systems or tax money or any like stuff like that, the nitty gritty mustard, that I understand. But if you're like, what should I do? I want to put my money into something. It's like, and there's a lot of people that are doing that. Like I saw a dude in Alabama the other day, just opened a shop. He had like, I think 70 pairs. And it's just like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Your rent's $2,000 a month plus utilities, 70 pairs in your store. I mean, are you really going to be able to pay rent, making profit back? You know what I mean? It's just not, I don't think it's going to happen.
I feel like every mall that I go across this in the country, they all got a little boutique store in them now, don't they?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Even the smallest little hole in the wall place in the country has one. It seems like it. Some kind of consignment or they are popping up left and right. I don't know, man. A lot of them are not going to last, just like anything, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's any industry, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you can't just jump in from selling. You need to do it for many years, bro.
And I also
jump into something that big of a long-term investment. That's what that is. That's a long-term investment, signing a lease. And I don't think many people look at it like that.
Yeah.
It's not a short-term investment. You are building a brand. And I think some people are just jumping into it as if I'm moving my the sneaker operation from my trunk of my car to the mall.
Yeah. And it's almost like people think just because you have a shop, that means you make money.
That it gives you some kind of, but at the end of the day, what we keep saying, they're not doing it for the right reason, a lot of them. Yeah. Why would you want to shop? Dude, do you know how many people over the years that I've been doing this since the beginning of time always ask me, Sean, why don't you have a shop? When are you going to have a store one day? Even this was, long before any of these, any stores were popping up. People have been asking me forever. And I always just laughed and I said, not a chance.
Yeah.
Why? I already pay the lights at my house. I already pay the lights. I already pay for storage at, wherever I'm storing my stuff. I already pay the lights for the office there. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I add a whole nother piece to it when I are more overhead when I'm already content with where I'm at? Yeah. If this is what I say, if you really believe that you're at a point where it's time to scale to that level, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Go do it. It's not for everybody, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to do it for some years and be a part of this culture or whatever, that it's going to take to run your business and understand how those gears spin. It's like you should never marry a woman or a man without living with them first. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just go from, selling some shoes on StockX to then running a store,
it's not the same thing. It's two different ballparks. Like you can't even compare.
Completely different,
You're not selling shoes anymore. You're running a company and a business, and you have to pay And people don't know. That's another thing. People don't know what they don't know. And like when I was gonna open a shop and I had to learn about like all the expenses that you don't even think about, like you don't consider, it's like, oh my God. It's like before you move out on your, I remember before I moved out on my own, like I didn't really think about having to buy like salt or like anything ever. And then I moved out, I'm like, well, I kind of need a knife, don't I? I don't have a knife. You know what I mean? You don't think about it. And there's hundreds of things like that.
Oh my God, dude, do you, just for one thing, just the one thing, anybody that wants to open a store, just close your eyes and think of this. Even one simple, thing that you're gonna have to pay for is you're gonna need a build out. None of these malls have, or any of these stores have any kind of build out unless you get lucky. That could cost you 20 or 30 grand.
If you want to do it right, yes. Like if you look, I agree.
It could cost you. So if you're not ready, when you hear 20 or 30 grand, if that makes you shit your huggies, you ain't ready for this. You're not ready for it.
I feel like the way to know you need a store is like if you absolutely are so busy and are making so many sales that it only makes sense to get a store because that's just going to blow it up for you. But because you already have the infrastructure in place, that makes sense. Like when you're doing so much local sales or online sales that you can't keep up with the demand, then yes, go get a store. But if you're not,
if you have the local buzz, like you said, if you have a local buzz, not just selling some stuff on ShitX, definitely. If you especially if you feel like, man, I need help. If you need other people.
Yes. That's like Panhandle. Like that's where he's getting now. Like he's meeting like, bro, like 20 people a day.
My man be hustling, man.
Yeah, he kills it. And there's another guy in New Orleans, Kicks by 3Y. He does double that. And it's just like crazy. So like guys like that, it's like I could see a store being a good option for them because it's safer. You know what I mean? They don't have to do all.
And they already have the clientele too.
They have the clientele. That's the most important thing is the clientele. I feel like for sure. You can't open a store without clientele.
Actually, I talked to some of these guys, and that's what they do want to do is open a store.
Yeah.
It does make sense for them. Get some help. Have a place where you can catch other traffic. That's the key of the store. Is you're gonna be dragging people into a store that you would have never met in any other in place in life.
So what do you think about? I know it's like a complete 180, but have you seen those forest green black Jordan 3s coming out?
I did see that.
What do you think about those? Because they're like suede or like nubuck up top.
I know. I want to see that. I like it. Hey, that what we always saying? Black don't crack, man. Black
does get ashy.
Black it does get ashy. You're right. Black shoes have been hot, man.
Yeah.
They've been so hot.
How long is it going to take you? I saw you were buying those Obsidian 13s that came out at 160-ish. So I know that's crazy. I would buy them. I would buy max out credit cards if I could buy them at 160. So how long do you take to sit on something like that?
So right now I'm buying Obsidian 13, the Bordeaux 6, Electric Green 6, Twist 12, and Utility 12s. And all of those, I'm pretty confident I'll be selling a lot of them around Christmas time,
So do you ever think to sell to big shops instead of consigning or selling online? Like, you ever think to sell in bulk to these shops?
I honestly, it's funny you say that. Just yesterday, somebody added me or something on Instagram and their page popped up. So I clicked on it and their job is to middleman deals between like a bulk seller and a store.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of a dope concept. That's all this guy does. So it is something that I look at, especially since stores now are moving more product than they ever have been before.
Because I know, God, when I look at you and I see what you do, and like, I know guys, I don't know him personally, but I've spoken to him and his partner, Bailey LaForge, and I don't know if you know him and Wes Kicks. They have a shop up in Columbus, Ohio called Soul Stop.
I know Wes. I know I've met Wes Kicks before. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they like consistently, like the other day, Bailey posted that he was buying Bordeaux 6s at $210 a pair, which probably isn't paying super good. But like for someone like you, when you're able to source them at like $160 a pair, and get them in bulk, that seems like easy money to me. And then you move them all to one guy and you don't have to worry about it, especially if he knows you're reputable for stuff like that. I mean, even if you're not clipping 150 pairs of them, you still get 50, 60.
Yeah.
That's a quick clip. And on release, as close to the release as you can sell them to him, you know what I mean? People like that, they pay higher and higher and higher. So I think that might be something you should look into, because if you can make connections with those shops, I think you would kill it, especially your margins, bro.
That's what I need. That's why I'm saying when I go to SneakerCon, that's more so that I would do is link up with these guys. I'm going to look for this guy because I think you're like the third or fourth person that told me I should talk to Bailey LaForge.
He's like role model for me. Like when I think of somebody that I want to be like, that's what I look at. That kid is, dude, he's like, he kills it, man. Like his shop is beautiful too. He just renovated his shop. He just got his account for the store to 35,000 and they just banned it.
What state is it in?
Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
They're fire though. Like if I was going to do a shop, that's what I would model my entire business after. Him and his partner, like that's what
they own everything too. It's not consignment.
No, they own everything. And that's how they have 5,000 pairs in their store, and it's 95% DS and 5% used.
That's the way to do it.
It seems like they murdered, bro. Like I've never seen. That's the kind of guys that need a shop. You know what I mean? Like murdering it. But if you only have 100 pairs,
a shop. You know what a shop is at though? What's gonna make a shop is the personality in it.
Yeah.
More than anything. It doesn't matter what fucking shoes you got on the wall. There's other stores that got shoes. It doesn't matter what fucking Supreme or V-Lone or none of that shit. It matters about who the personality there is. Why do you think people love Urban Necessities so much?
2J's.
Because they're drawn to 2J's kicks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the brand you build around it. Whether you choose to build around yourself or the company as a whole.
Or the company.
That's why
It's about the personality. Or even like their stores like I like Cool Kicks LA. They got great personality behind them. It's owned by some good dudes that's been together since day one. You know, that has a really dope story to it. Cookies and Kicks is one in LA. They do a lot of content for their store and stuff. I think that's what I'm saying. It's more about the personality. If you just open up a store and throw up a banner in the mall and want to sell shoes for 50 over StockX ask, you're not going to do that shit for long, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's I think it's like a super good opportunity, but I also think it could be like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to screw yourself out of it big time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we kind of talked about another topic we were going to get to. I saw you post the other day. This is something that, I mean, I'm not like, I don't do consignment. I don't know about it, but from a business perspective, I wanted your opinion on like how this affects their entire infrastructure and like the way that people do business with them. Urban Necessities recently raised their consignor fee from 10% to 15%. And I think at 15%, they're still in the low category of other consignors. Like I know Stadium Goods is around 20. I think Flight Club is as well. But 10%, they had a big kind of gap, it seemed like, on the consignor fee range. The raising it to 15, what does that do to you? Like, does that affect you really? Does that change the way you do your business or what?
It's going to make me send less stuff there, definitely.
Okay.
If the key though is the thing about Urban Necessities that always pissed me off, besides the process being so outdated and ancient and slow, when the shoes would arrive there, they'll call you on the phone and say your price is $5 too high, $10 too high, whatever. You know, that's my time. I'll never get back, right? That $5 or $10, I'll make that shit in my sleep. I don't like, so on top of me having to pay $100 and something to send a large box of shoes there many times over as I send them, you know, I'm Urban Necessities, I probably send them 150, 200 pairs every couple of weeks.
Okay.
You know, of all stuff that's going to move quickly, that I know that moves quickly through there. It was pretty, for them to come out last minute. They came out last minute and said anything that comes in by tomorrow is going to be 15%. I already had shipments on the way down there that when I boxed them and I pieced them very meticulously, looking everywhere in the world for market, where can I get the most money out of them? I calculated 10%. You know what I'm saying?
Two questions. One, is there like, had you known, would it have affected you sending it? And
yes.
And okay, and is there even a better option though?
Is there a better option? The thing is that 10% it was, but Flight Club is not 20% anymore.
What is Flight Club?
Flight Club, they shifted down to the same as GOAT,
Which is what?
So 15% is more than selling on StockX though.
What is Go?
GOAT is 12.9%, same as StockX.
So Flight Club is, but is Flight Club? See, this is what I've never known.
But Flight Club's market changed completely. So like, whereas you could send like a Concorde and make it for 800, now the most that somebody will have it for is 5 something,
right,
or whatever. It used to be way inflated, Flight Club, because you were getting charged 20%. So now that's the way the stadium goods still is. So a lot of shoes, it doesn't make sense to send there.
Okay.
Urban moves shoes, man, no matter what. At the end of the day, I've had some bad interactions with them many times, but they move shoes.
How much of their business, I know you don't know personally, but from your experience, do you think they move online? Like how much is it online compared to in store?
I think it's mostly in store, man.
Okay.
A lot of it's in store, especially now this new location they got in Caesar's Palace. It's huge, man.
Someone said, I don't remember who, but someone told me they did 3 million in 1 month in sales at that new store.
I don't know. I'm sure, during the height of retail, I'm sure that's possible.
That's insane.
This is in Caesar's, in the Forum next to the Nike store.
Yeah. That's just crazy to me.
It's crazy foot traffic there, especially when it was new. I've noticed, but I definitely see a decline over the last couple of weeks or month. It's been declining big time. So it is ironic that now they're raising the fee.
Yeah, like they need some more bread coming into the.
Yeah, they pay $120,000 a month in rent to be there, something like that.
That's insane. I mean, good for him though. I mean, it's crazy what he's built for sure. I mean, respect. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's insane.
Definitely. I know a lot of consigners. This is going to put a bad taste in their mouth, and it is.
I mean, do they really have another choice though?
People always have another choice, bro. The shoes are like cocaine, crack rock. I mean, we don't have to sell it. We just have to have it and show people, and it sells itself.
So where do you go from because you can't really, I mean, why do you think stuff moves more to Urban Necessities or Flight Club?
Flight Club is, Flight Club moves, man. GOAT moves.
So then why don't you send to them rather than Urban Necessities if their fee is lower?
But it's the market though. It's the reason why I would send stuff to Urban. Everything I send to Urban is because it's a shoe size they don't have.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're looking for stuff that you'll have the only pair, so there's no competition for you.
That's the only way I sell shoes, bro. Okay. I don't like to compete with nobody. It's a war of attrition when it comes to holding. So I just got to hold it longer than the dipshit that wants 250 and I want 3.
Okay, I understand.
And it worked. If you have recent stuff, that's how any of these consignment stores are. This is what I tell the people in my Discord. If you send something that's new to Stadium Goods, you're going to want to pull your fucking hair out because you're going to be competing just like you would on StockX with all these little kids that are undercutting.
So you're holding it until
those people are done and they gave up.
And they moved on to the next shoe. And that's when you start dumping pairs because there's not as much competition, so your stuff sells quicker.
And there's not enough. But the key to that, you can't do that with just any shoe. The key to it is actually picking the right shoes. So that's why do you think I have, hundreds of Carmine 6s, Raging Bull 5s.
It's because you know that in the future they'll still be selling.
In the future, no matter what, honestly, me to the core of me, I have a little bit of doomsday prepper in me because that's what my dad in his genes is, right? My dad is the ultimate doomsday prepper. Like, I'm dead serious. This guy's probably got a cavity in his backyard to hide in if the zombie apocalypse happens, right?
Right.
So I always have been saying, the sneaker market, it's going to get to a point where it's going to just bomb, and it has bombed many times over the years. But what it does is it just shifts to a different type of shoe. because once again, we always wear shoes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So
So I stick to the shoes that I know that when all these little following ass kids throw in the towel and they're done with shoes, the OGs will still be wanting them.
you're just making sure that you're never put into a position that when stuff does die out, you're not sitting on a bunch of inventory that nobody wants, basically.
Because it's happened to me before. These are lessons. You
Like
know, I'm
what?
just
Like
not pulling
mids or
this shit out of
something?
my ass. You know what I'm saying? These are actual lessons that I've learned over the years many times over.
Like what's an example of a shoe that you got stuck with? Like mids?
Dude, you want to spin the wheel? All right, we'll spin the wheel. Here we go.
All right.
Spin the wheel. I had women's satin bread toe. Was that what it was? Satin black toe.
Those ended up sucking. And
Dude.
everyone thought I saw a dude that had like hundreds of, I mean, maybe it was you. I don't know. I saw some dude's closet had like 150
That's
pairs
low.
of these
Hey,
things.
if it was me, I would have cried right now, bro. Look, luckily, the funny part is that at that point, I already had lessons like this from other shoes in the past. So I still danced near the door and I didn't go like balls to the wall on them. I mean, these things were $800, bro.
I remember on release.
Some of the sizes you could have paid a rack for them. I know a guy that he bought 100 pairs and he paid almost $1,000 for each pair, bro.
That's insane.
He put 100,000 into it, and so you know, I keep in touch with him all the time. I think he probably tapped out at probably 450 or 500. So he took a 50% chop on it, you know, getting caught up in the hype.
But I mean, why does a shoe? I don't know though.
But
I
it's
think
because that shoe didn't have no history, none.
But it is a black toe, and when you combine a good color like black toe with this whole satin thing that always goes for a lot, you would think that that's a shoe that would.
That's, you know what? Honestly, that shoe was just a bad timing. That was the time when the whole market shit. It wasn't just that shoe. You know, that shoe was just one of the more recent releases that had came out.
So that's when like ones were just up because they were up. So if you bought them then, once the one hype died, your investment died. It's not because it was a bad colorway. Like,
and only some of them rebounded. Like Obsidian ones, I had a ton of Obsidian ones, and those saved me. And because I was heavy in the things I was convinced, I had a ton of GS Obsidian ones, a ton of Shattered Backboard 3.0s. And I mean, I paid like nothing for these. So they well made up for my satin black toe L. But the satin black toes, I mean, I think I still have a few pairs of them now, bro.
Yeah. Like, did you get a lot of bigger sizes or smaller sizes?
I did a little mix of both. You know, if you notice, I always stick to the same size, bro. I literally have, I don't think I have a size 8 men's, and any shoe that I own is not a size 8 men's.
That sucks. I was about to ask you if you had a size 8 turbo green one or a size 8 Obsidian, actually, because I'm looking for those right now.
Is that your size?
No, but my girlfriend wears an 8.
Somebody wants them.
Yeah,
I don't. It's not a size I go after because it's a, you know, if you look at any of the retros now, it's not a good size. You know,
it used to be, but it's not now. I was told that the whole reason that the smaller sizes don't go for much anymore is because in China there's like a Nike, or it's like all sportswear brands that use like cotton in factories. They're boycotting them because of the child labor and labor laws there. And so like the main influencers of China are like bashing Nike. And so that's why those sizes don't push anymore, is because those people aren't wearing those shoes.
Yeah, a lot of the shoes that I get from ShitX, they come from China, which they never really did before because they ate up all their own supply over there.
Yeah.
Now the shoes release in their stores and they're reselling them to us.
That's awesome though for them. I mean, I guess
it's not awesome though. If you think about the big picture of it, we lost a huge
potential
supply network of people, you know?
Yeah. I just mean awesome for the guys that, like, because I've seen the pictures of like overseas and there's just like good stuff sitting. Like if you can cook over there, you're making money. Like if you know what you're doing.
They have really good shit over there, bro.
Yeah. It just sits.
I think at the end of the day, man, it just keeps revolving, all around, spinning everywhere. I
Yeah.
think they'll be back. They'll be back into the shoes because they still have feet once again.
Is there any like, is there any new releases that you get excited for anymore? Like, what was the last shoe that came out that you were like, I need these for myself?
For myself,
Yeah,
I don't buy any shoes, man.
really. I saw you had those. There you go.
I got every color of these, bro.
I won't do it. I won't do it. I cannot. I can't spend that much money on a pair of slides. I just won't. I'm not doing it. If that,
I feel you.
not. And I know that I know when I look at them on you that I think they're cool, but I know that when someone else that has no idea what's going on saw me in those, they would go, "That guy's ridiculous." And I just know that's a fact, because if before Kanye made those and you would have saw somebody wearing them, people would have been like, "Nah, those ain't it, bro."
They look like jail slippers, bro.
They are jail slippers, 100%. That's the craziest thing ever. And I won't do it. I would rather go buy any shoe that I want for the same price than those slides.
I don't know. Shoes really excite me, man. I like it. See, but you know what? I like what I like. I've always been that way.
Yeah.
I never get caught up in like the hype of stuff. Like me now, you same way. I saw, it's funny. We both had them Bape Ultra Boost.
I'm trying to find the gray pair.
I have both of them.
I need the gray one for I found that green one and I
love them. I have so many Ultra Boosts, bro. I mean,
I have right here. That's my Ultra Boost like row. That's like, I love Ultra Boost for a daily wear. Ultra Boost all day.
Yeah,
I don't wear any.
I love like models of Yeezys that most people. I love the MNV in the 700.
Yeah,
I love that model, bro.
I
have almost every color of them.
Do you really?
Yeah, I just bought the Honey Flux.
Is that the one that just came out, the yellow pair?
Honey Flax, yeah. The it's like a goldish almost.
Oh, sad, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got them for I put the offer on ShitX for $190 something, and somebody took it less than retail. I'm like, shit. And that's the thing, is I've been able to get, especially Ultra Boost, bro. You can get any of the Ultra Boost for under retail now,
as long as it's not like a crazy colorway or anything that used to go for the moon, bro. Like even like
the collabs.
Like a lot of just like really good colorways that used to go for the moon, bro, just don't go for anything now.
Nothing, bro, because
those Bapes used to go crazy,
bro. That was a shoe at one point. I could have seen it being $1,000.
The NMD was even worse.
Oh yeah,
NMD was. The NMD is still high. I don't even think. Yeah, like I saw somebody selling a pair for $1,000 at SneakerCon Chicago.
Wow, I haven't seen one.
Get it.
NMD lost love for me. It was a cool looking model, but it doesn't have any insole at all. It fucked my feet up.
It's not comfortable either. I thought I hadn't remembered how they felt, and I was on my Ultra Boost wave, and I saw the OG NMDs with the blue and the red pods, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I gotta get that. So I buy them and put them on, and I was like, what?
It feels like a cheese grater inside of it, bro, because it's just as, if you look inside, there's no insole like a Boost have, so it's directly down to the Boost.
And the uppers aren't as comfortable as Ultra Boost Prime Knit is. Like it's a whole different ballgame.
The Ultra Boost, the Woodstock ones, both colorways, I wear the shit out of those.
I need them so bad. Like I want them so bad.
Any colorway you've been buying? I like most of the collabs, bro.
The collabs are the best one. Like there's a Nice Kicks Ultra Boost too.
What did I just buy? I just bought this one right here. I found it for a really good deal. I like loud shit too. 1.0. You got him?
That's my beater.
I haven't even worn mine yet. It just came in. But like I said, because nobody wants it, I think the Ultra Boost I love, I put a bid on it on ShitX, and people take them all the time. Oh shit, I don't got that one.
And then this is my all-time favorite Ultra Boost, the Oreo. Like I have no better favorite Ultra Boost than this.
That is a fire one, bro. I can still remember vivid, clear as day, the lady at Foot Action when those were released. We got in a big ass argument. She tried to call security on me over them.
For what?
She wouldn't really get military discount on them shits.
So you don't like you don't see any Okay, what about like grails? Do you have any grails that you want that you like haven't gotten yet?
I really don't, man. It's kind of crazy.
I,
What's crazy is that my whole brain is consumed with shoes, but my heart is not.
I feel
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Like
It kind of makes it hard when you sell them, bro. You get desensitized,
you
and
really
it
do.
sucks because I miss being excited over shoes back in the day. Like when I would have freaked out. The thought of having like any of this when I was a kid would have
Oh,
freaked me out.
you would have, but because we're fucking greedy as humans,
Yeah,
it's because it's never enough. It's the norm to us. So now we need more.
yeah, I
You
agree.
know, I love the boost though, man. Like literally, I don't even own any Jordans.
That's crazy that I can't believe you don't even own
I
J's.
got rid of them when I
I get
first.
all classics. That's the only stuff I buy. I have the black grape fives, the white grape fives, militaries, 2 pairs of black cement threes, fire up fours. That's like the kind of stuff I like. I don't really get any of the like. I'll never buy like a Starfish 13 or something like that. Like it
The
just
new
ain't for
stuff
me.
is not comfortable at all either, man.
I wouldn't even know. I don't put my foot in.
I need comfortable stuff. I won't put it. There's shoes that I'll open it up and think that I'll like it. I'll order it or whatever, and I'll put it on my feet. You know what shoe I really like that people don't fuck with too heavy is the high top Presto.
So I actually the acronym colorways.
I have all of that's the one I was speaking of, all of those.
So the pink, neon, and blue pair was for a long time like one of my favorite shoes, bro. But I got it and I started wearing it to sneaker events, and the zipper would keep zipping down on it.
That is annoying.
And so I sold them. Like I wouldn't keep them anymore because I was like,
fucking hate that.
I
don't know why that is.
I hate it so much. And that was like the deal.
It's hard to fix.
You would just, I don't know. You would think, but then because then if you can't like permanently keep it up or you can't get your foot in, like I got rid of them. But I was gonna ask you, do you like low top Prestos?
I do like the Presto
Because I have a couple
Prestos are actually let me see, I got a Presto right here. Comparable to like an Ultra Boost.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Nike version of a.
It's pretty comfortable.
It isn't an Ultra Boost though. It doesn't top an
Ultra. No, it's not an Ultra Boost.
No.
I haven't found a Nike that is like an Ultra Boost, to be real, man. And I was for the longest time when Adidas Wave first came out, I said fuck that. I was so against it, bro, because I've been Nike my whole life.
Yeah, so was I.
Nike was to the core of me. I never wanted to own no other shoe other than Nike.
Adidas kind of land before Boost anyways.
I didn't fuck with it like that. It was like shell toes and Run DMC shoes and shit.
What do I look like? A dude in the Bronx? I'm good. Okay, I'll wear my Nikes.
Yeah, like I had Air Max 1s, Air Max 90s,
That's that row up there is 90s. That's my favorite Air Maxes. 90s.
That was my classic shit, man. I wouldn't have worn no fucking Adidas, man. But then when I first tried on, especially the Ultra Boost, man, I fell in love with that.
They killed it with that shoe. That's like, but you know what? They ruined it though when they came out with the 2020 version and 2021. They're so ugly.
I don't understand why they keep doing it with the DNA version. It has they add shit to it. Like
I'm good.
These shoe companies get so full of themselves because something gets hot and they just run it into the ground, bro.
Yeah, they ruin stuff.
It's disgusting, man. I don't know why didn't they stick to it like this? Just simple, just got one solid color on it. It doesn't make any sense, man.
I don't know.
Shit is comfortable. You can't compete. Everyone in my family wears Ultra Boost now because of, how comfortable it is.
Really?
Yeah, for Christmas, I was sending my my stepdad and who else? Some other people in my family. I was sending them. Oh, my brother-in-law. I was sending them EQT 9317s because I love that model.
I remember that shoe.
I love that model because it just had more boost to it.
Is it more comfortable though, you think?
Dude, yes. The only thing I didn't like about that model is the flap over tongue.
Okay.
The tongue is 2 layers that flap over and they can kind of get kinked up sometimes, but the prime knit on it was really nice, man.
Yeah.
Really nice. I'm trying to think. This is one of the first ones that I had. I love this.
Is it the pink and white pair and black pair?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember when that pair actually had hype around it when it came out.
Oh, dude, when this shoe came out, I remember it was at Sneaker Junkies. There was a long ass line of people, and I looped the line, and I just kept buying all of them. I was selling them right on Go instantly for almost $300. People were paying for these back then.
That's back when Kais Omar still had hype around him and all that. Which, by the way, was like the craziest rise and fall of somebody that I've ever seen. Like, I don't know if you were big into the sneaker YouTube thing.
Nah, not really. I've actually just started looking into it now because of the stock market.
Yeah.
But so what happened with him?
Well, he started making YouTube videos and just blew up. Like, and I don't think we'll ever see anybody like him again. Like, okay, you know how like did you go to SneakerCon Chicago?
I didn't know.
But you've been to SneakerCons before.
Yeah.
You know how people like 2Js will rent out like the big booths, and like he'll have like 2Js, he'll have consistent people coming up to him and stuff. Kais had like, I want to say like 150 person line at his booth waiting to come up, buy merch, and take a picture with him. Like, the hype was crazy. This dude had clothing drops and he probably made hundreds of thousands of dollars on them. And then one day his content just got really bad. And then boom, no more money. SneakerCon stopped messing with him. He stopped getting all these big brand deals and sponsorships. And he just started making stupid videos. But like, bro, I don't ever think we'll ever see. I can't believe you didn't even like. I guess it makes sense though. You're a grown man. You're not watching dudes review shit.
No, you know what's funny is I actually met him a few times. I talked to him. He seemed like a good dude.
But there's nothing wrong with him. That I'm saying. It's crazy how
it was because he was new. That was new to the culture, right?
Yeah, it was when hype was first a thing. So like it was when all the kids were just getting into it. And he was the guy as far as sneaker. Like, I remember like when I saw him when I went to my first SneakerCon, I couldn't believe it. Now I walk by him, I bumped into him one time. What's up, man? But like I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me now. But it's just crazy how he probably never thought it would end either. Doesn't that suck? Like, you go from being this huge superstar almost, like literally probably felt like a superstar, rock star, and then just no one anymore cares. And SneakerCon won't even mess with him either. In fact, SneakerCon allegedly. I know you're friends with him all, and I don't know this for a fact, but
I saw this on his video. They kicked him out, I heard.
Allegedly not even that, but they like purposefully schedule sneaker cons on the same days as events that sponsor Kais Omar. So like, I know that they have in fact like 100% done, not on purpose, but they've definitely, for all the events he like for Orlando Sneaker Convention, like they have scheduled it on the same days, and Orlando's had to reschedule their events because of it.
That's kind of a boss move.
It is a boss move. And they did the same thing too. There's an event up in Ohio called Sneaker Freaks, and they did the same thing in them, just like
from what I heard, they do it to everybody. It's kind of like if like, I don't know, Lil Uzi Vert and a bunch of people drop their album one day. Drake is like, I'll put up my album tomorrow just to remind everybody that I'm still the fucking GOAT.
I feel that, and I feel like that is, I don't know. I feel conflicted because on the one hand,
it's a competitive thing, I guess. I don't know,
but there's always two ways to build the biggest building. It's like you can tear everybody else's down, or you can just build the biggest building. So part of me is like, yeah, that is kind of cool and gangster, and then the other part of me is like, I don't know though. I feel like SneakerCon should just.
I think it might be a coincidence though, man. If you see what these guys got going for them now with eBay, I don't think they got time to be playing no little small checker game, you know?
You're probably right about that.
These dudes, I've been trying to get up to their warehouse up here for a minute now and go check it out, the eBay warehouse in Astoria. I can't get out there for nothing, man. They are busy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, it's no fees, bro.
Yeah.
No fees.
Every time I sell a shoe on eBay, it says send a SneakerCon representative blank, and then they.
So do you sell a lot on eBay?
Not a lot. I just kind of threw up a bunch of shitty pairs. I
tried to sell a lot on eBay.
Just learning how to use it pretty much like slowly over time. So far I've had two issues that kind of pissed me off with them, which was I sent DS Galaxy phones and they sold, and then they sent them back and said they weren't DS, and like I can't find a single thing on the shoe that would point to them not being brand new. Then I sold a Concord 11 from 2011, and then eBay authenticated them, sent them to the buyer, and then the buyer was like, nah, these ain't real, and sent them back.
And they took it and they sided with the buyer
immediately. And it's just like, you authenticated them though. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? But besides that, I don't have any problems with eBay. I'm probably going to start going a little bit harder on there. I really needed to.
I could see it, honestly. I could see it being a big part of our one of our main platforms.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to take over GOAT, but I don't think it'll affect StockX at all. But I do think it will take over GOAT. Like I think it will make GOAT irrelevant very soon because GOAT just doesn't have the advertising dollars and marketing budget that eBay does. Like, and you don't see.
eBay is a monster, bro.
It's a monster. I mean, they own so much. Like,
they've been in this space since the 90s.
They're professionals, and they have the infrastructure set up for it already, and like the warehouses. And
I don't know if you know, years ago, eBay actually, this is not their first time trying to really swing hardcore into the sneaker game. They actually bought Kixify. If you ever remember Kixify, did you ever sell anything on that?
I bought one pair of, when I first started, I bought a pair of Kixify.
Yeah, they bought Kixify, was actually blew up and got pretty big, and then eBay bought it and it went downhill from there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So they've tried to dabble in this before. I don't think they had the right pieces in place. It sounds
they're
like
doing it right now, though. I mean,
by being connected with SneakerCon, it sounds like they have it in the right, you know.
And I see commercials all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't ever see GOAT commercials. I see eBay commercials anywhere I go. And
the only thing about GOAT, though, is that GOAT does have big funding behind them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they've got huge investors. Like, isn't Eminem invested into GOAT?
There's a lot of people. I mean, Foot Locker in itself invested big money.
And then they have the collab with Flight Club. I mean, I agree with you for sure. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be obsolete, but
I think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because you got to think what makes StockX tick the most is it's the new age reseller, right? Yeah. I never used it once up until recently, within the last few years, you got to think.
Right.
You know, where I was using GOAT all the time. You know, GOAT also is connected to China, and StockX is not really connected like that. That was the move that GOAT made by connecting with Foot Locker. It opened them up to many different avenues.
Potential.
Flight Club is huge. I don't know. We'll see, man. I hope that there's room for all of them to have a piece of it, and just have something special to each one of them. Make them compete. We want competition amongst these platforms.
Yeah, it gives us more.
We get cornered and we're fucked, you know?
Right. Yeah, because if they have a monopoly, then the fees or whatever they want.
Now they're 20%. We're paying 20% to ship our own fucking shoe.
Right. eBay's zero because they got it like that. You know what I mean? Which they're just trying to grow that brand up, and then but I think it's
smart. It's what Amazon, kind of the Amazon concept. Reprogram people's minds. Reprogram the reseller's mind to go on eBay and sell, reprogram the buyer's mind to go on eBay and buy it. And it's worked, bro. I've literally spent probably maybe 50,000 in the last few days taking bids, buying stuff on eBay. I've been getting some crazy steals, bro.
Gosh, I didn't know you spent like that.
Bro, come on. That's nothing.
I know you were dropping 50,000 in a couple of days on eBay, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to do is shift a lot what I buy on. I mean, I spent almost $1 million at StockX this year, bro.
That's insane. Good for you, though, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, just keep buying, though, right?
Yes,
just keep buying.
You buy. That's the only way you make money. You can't sell if you don't buy.
Keep buying. The stuff that I have a lot of faith in, I keep buying. I spent a lot on GOAT too lately, though. I've been putting stuff in my GOAT storage, bro. This is the time of the year. Listen, everyone, time of the year. You buy stuff, put it in your GOAT storage, and you wait for Christmas, Black Friday time, and people will pay that ship now price, slap it left and right.
That's a good idea.
Every year.
Think about that.
I do it every year, bro. Every year, like clockwork. So right now, like the shoes I told you, I'm loading Bordeaux 6s, electric green 6s, utility 12s, twists, Raging Bulls, anything I can get for a good deal. The Obsidians, people taking offers for $170. I'll put them in there. I'll sell them for $250 at least. Ship now.
I'd be interested to hear after Christmas when we have a podcast, like how well that worked out for you.
Every year, bro.
That's insane. That's awesome.
Every year I do it. I already have some stuff that I've been loading into it where I'm looking at it like it's not looking good. Yeezys don't look good, man. Like 350s.
Yeah,
not looking good.
They fucked them up, man. There's too many.
It's not looking good. I like the 700 Dark Glow, but the 350, I've been grabbing a lot of the mono cinders dirt cheap. I might get my money back, you know.
Right.
They ain't looking too hot, those ones. But the you know, some of them they don't work out, but I have plenty of the other ones that do.
I know it's not a recent release, but one that I'm like trying to find, and I seems like everyone else hates. You remember the 750s?
Oh wow.
I
don't understand what happened with that shoe, yo. He just like never made it again.
Yeah, but I really want like all of them really bad because
I'm surprised they never retroed another one or came out with another one. You know, it's really weird.
Glad they didn't, because I think they would have ruined it. Like the quantums are just garbage. You know what I mean? But like I thought they were kind of cool at first, and now I hate them.
I thought it was so cool. I bought the pair. I bought the first one that came out from a guy that got them from the Yeezy truck in Chicago when he was passing them out to people, making them take their shoes off.
That was so cool.
I paid $800 for that shoe, bro.
You sell it?
Huh?
You sell it?
No, I still have it now. I wore it.
God, that's crazy.
That's an L, right? Is it an L or I really wanted the shoe? I don't care, you know?
I don't know.
It's a bigger tax write-off.
I can tell you what, I have 4
It's only one shoe, too. At the end of the day, if I make a mistake on one shoe, you know, it's not 300 of them.
There you go. It's not 300 satin black toes.
Perspective. Yes.
There you go. Well, all right, man. It's been a little over an hour, so I think we should cut
it, bro. We could do this to the fucking forever.
I know. Well, look, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Comment below any other things you want to hear us chat about. If there's any business questions, money questions, sneakers, life, you name it, we'll talk about it. And we will see you guys next Wednesday on the Hump Day Hustle.
On the hump day.
All right.
Love y'all, man. Thank you guys very much.